Now then, he's best known for heading up AC12 in Line of Duty as Superintendent Ted Hastings, but Adrian Dunbar is currently starring in another gritty crime drama.
Series 2 of Blood is back. Let's return to the rural Irish town where life isn't quite as it seems. And Adrian Dunbar joins us now. Adrian, thank you for joining us. It's lovely to see you. So that question there, are you the guy that killed his wife? That really sets the scene for the first series that we saw. That was the question that everybody was asking all the way through that. So for anybody that hasn't seen this, just sort of explain what's going on.
Well, my character, Jim Hogan, of course, throughout the first series, his daughter felt that there was a possibility that he had murdered the mother. In fact, as it turns out, at the end of the first series, you find out that it was an assisted euthanasia, and his wife had asked him to do it. But as such, he's been struck off as a GP, of course. And a year has passed, and now he's come back to live with his other daughter. He's very greatly diminished as a character, of course, struck off. He doesn't have much money. He's relying on charity. And he finds, as usual in this particular Irish town and village, that there are things going on, particularly within his family, that he's not aware of. And these things start to unravel as the series kind of progresses.
Well, we've got to be, obviously, got to be really careful here. The gang that we saw there by the car, that's an integral part. He's working with, because he's staying with Fiona, his the daughter, and her husband, Paul, and he's working with them. So just, I'm not going any further than that. So tell me about their relationship and their time together.
Well, Fiona also is suffering from motor neurons, which is a horrible disease, as we know. And her husband, Paul, is, they're working for this rather rich family. And they've got Jim somewhere to stay on the farm. They find out that Jim finds out there's something going on with the boys to do with drugs. But Paul is reluctant for them to go to the police. He has everybody's got an agenda. Everyone's got a secret. Fiona's not telling Jim what's going on. Jim is running behind the action. He's, as the series progresses, he's starting to do what he thinks is the right, well, he's doing the wrong things for the right reasons, of course, and that sometimes happens. But there's lots of different little kind of threads that kind of get teased out. And we find out, of course, that Fiona, Sophie Petzl, who writes it brilliantly, uses flashbacks to allow us to know exactly what's going on. And within episode 2, you will also see that Fiona is being questioned by the police over the death of her husband, Paul. So we're trying to work out how do all these things come together. And that's one of the great things with sticking with a series like Blood.
And you mentioned the writer there, Sophie Petzl, and she wrote this with you in mind right from the get-go, didn't she?
Yes, I was, it's a real honour if someone writes for you. And I was, of course, really flattered when Jonathan Fisher and Sophie, Jonathan's the producer, came to me and said, look, we've got this series, really want you to do it. And it's a great story. It's very unique. It shouldn't really work. It's a, middle-class family in the Midlands in Ireland. It's during the day. It's kind of unique within kind of crime drama in that respect, but it's really caught people's imagination. And it's a great character to play because he's kind of, he's a good guy, but there's also parts of his personality that you kind of think, wow, he's able to take things on. And I'm interested in those progression of characters, like you see in things like Breaking Bad, and that we take somebody who's just an ordinary GP, and suddenly because of circumstances, his whole life starts to unravel. Yeah.
It's certainly emotionally, I think it's going to put us all through the ringer. It'll certainly put you through the ringer as well. And also, you say, which is quite good, this is what we need. You sit down and you get involved in something. It's going to exercise our minds a little bit. It
is going to exercise your mind, but also, it's great to. I think it creates its own world. It's somewhere to really escape into for an hour or so. And I think at this particular time, that's a great thing to do, to allow people to escape somewhere else entirely.
Yeah, well, that is the second episode of Blood. Series 2 is tonight on Channel 5. Also, while you're here, we can't have you here without talking about Line of Duty, of course. And for you guys, actually, you had to pause I mean, we've been waiting so long for the next series, and it seems we're going to have to wait a little bit longer, aren't we? Because you had to pause filming.
Yeah. I mean, it really is. You know, we were a month in and we had to stop. And we've had to go away now. You know, I'm kind of worried, to tell you the truth, Holly, about what's going to happen because, you know, a lot of us are eating quite a lot. So I know.
I didn't know where you were going with that. So you come back after lockdown.
Oh my gosh!
There's one scene where you're all like your normal sizes, and the next everybody comes back near like
I wouldn't have even thought about that. That's going to be the same for drama across the country.
Everywhere. Everyone's going to be huge.
Thank God we're live. We progress slowly every day.
Now, I mean, Vicky McClure's up there in Nottingham, and she's eating it. You know, she's on the rich tea. You know what I mean? Martin's there. I'm sure he's out running. He'll keep himself trim no matter what happens. But me and Vicky have got to watch it.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
So obviously that's something we've got to wait for, and now until you can get the team back together again. How are you keeping yourself busy now? Then what are you doing?
Well, I'm like everybody else. I mean, I'm lucky insofar as I have a really lovely garden here, and you know, so you know, we're out in the garden. It's raining today. All the gardeners, you know, across the country will be going, thank God for that, because it's been really dry for a long time. So doing a lot of gardening, very obsessed, and you know, about cooking. You know, what's for the tea? That's the big question. Will we open that bottle of Cremant? Will we drink half of it? You know, trying to all the things that everybody else is doing. You know, I think we really are all in the same boat in that respect. I feel sorry for those people who don't have access to outside space. And, you know, I hope they're finding a way to get out and get their kids out, especially those people who have got kids. It must be very difficult. And, you know, so we're thinking about them at the minute, and hopefully there'll be an end in sight. And we can all get back to work. I mean, I feel envious of you two being able to kind of go and still do a day's work. That's such a wonderful thing to be able to do.
It's very good for the head, isn't it? I mean, this is I think saved my head actually.
Yeah.
Being able to come in here and keep
Having
going.
that routine.
Work is so important, you know. It gives you your dignity. You know, as you say, for your mental health and all the rest of it. And, you know, we're not used to being, you know, all cooped up together, are we? It's a difficult time.
No,
Well,
sure.
we can't wait for you to get back all together filming for Line of Duty, no matter what size you all end up. Blood tonight at 9 on Channel 5, and that's Series 2. If you haven't caught it so far, then make sure that you catch up with Series 1. And thank you very much indeed for talking to us. Lovely to talk to you
really
as
nice
always.
to chat to you. Take care of yourself.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you. Bye.